Hello and welcome to another episode of The Whiteout. Again, sadly, we are not in the mountains. I'm here at home in London, but we can still bring you all the latest news, what's been happening in the mountains, what's going on, and what we might be looking forward to next year. I'm obviously here with Rob. Well, I'm not here with Rob, but Rob is filming in his house. How are you doing, Rob?
Yeah, good, Emily. Obviously I'm really missing the mountains now this winter, not being able to get out there like many of us. But in some ways, it's made me realise how I really love skiing still, and how much I miss it. And in some ways, that's quite a positive thing. I know how much I want to get back to it, and I can take a lot from that.
No, 100%. I was working this out the other day because it's actually been over a year since I've had my skis on, and that is the longest since I was 2 years old.
Me too, and the same thing for me. First time in nearly 40 years not being on skis in the winter, and I think
your age, Rob. You don't look 40, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Emily.
So Rob, I'm just going to stop you there because we need to crack on and tell us about what has been hitting the news this month from the mountains.
Well, we've got to start with this new ski jacket by the French brand Moncler. It's been causing quite a stir on social media, and I can certainly see why. Yeah,
no, I saw this, Rob. I think it's probably not the most practical jacket for your skiing, but I wouldn't mind having it on, the day after, when you just want to take that little snooze on the gondola after a bit heavy on the old après. Might be more suited to that, I think, than skiing.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I could have done with that jacket on a few occasions.
I'm sure you could have.
Maybe after a night or two on the chalet wine, perhaps.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. Anyway, on that note, I've got another bit of news because we've just heard from tour operator Ski France that they have introduced something called contactless catering, and it's an option that they're going to introduce for next season in their ski chalets, where basically when you book the holiday, you can take this contactless catering option, and when you arrive in the chalet, everything's there for you, and then every night you get the same service. So you get all the food, it's all in the chalet, you get back from skiing, it's all ready either to put into the oven or some stuff is already laid out, and then you serve yourself and eat it in your own time.
Yeah, I mean, the brands are really trying to embrace the change, aren't they? So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of ski holiday life is like post-COVID and what changes we're going to see.
Yeah, I think some of these changes have been coming for a while, but I think that COVID has accelerated the pace of these changes, the trends that we've seen coming. It's going to be interesting to see how the ski holiday develops.
And on a topic of next winter, Rob, I see that the bookings are up, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Emily. Tour operators are up on bookings from this time last year, up to 75%, they're saying, which is really positive. It's great to see that many skiers are want to go out and ski next winter. We're all wondering how we're going to kickstart travel again and be able to get out into the mountains. And one company that is navigating this post-pandemic travel environment is the Nuco Group. So they've got lots of different brands under that umbrella, and that actually cater for lots of different demographics. We were really, really lucky to catch up with Jane Bolton, Managing Director of Earn a Low, to get her take on exactly how they're going to restart things, kickstart the winter next year and get us all back on the slopes again.
It's obviously been a tough season, there's no secret, for the ski industry. But I want to know how Earn a Low has navigated this whole period, and also, how you're going about restoring some of that customer confidence that might have been lost in the last year.
Well, it has indeed been the toughest of years, hasn't it, in so many ways. With Earn a Low, we have been lucky because our clients are fabulous, and we've been able to talk to them and find out if they wish to be refunded. We have refunded them instantly, as well as the Nuco brands as well. But a lot of the Earn a Low clients are asking us simply to hold on to their money, to defer their holiday to next winter, and a lot of them are also saying that they'd like to go again twice next winter. So that's really positive.
That sounds good. I mean, let's make up for some lost time, and we know obviously you know from your customers, but we also know from so many other sources over this last winter that skiers and snowboarders are really desperate to get back out onto the slopes. And I think, a double holiday next winter sounds pretty good to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that the important thing from our point of view is that we acted with integrity throughout the whole pandemic, and that we are getting great feedback from our clients on how we've looked after them across all the brands. And we're really proud of that. We're really proud of that reputation.
And that it's great to hear companies like Ernest Lowe being very proactive in that area as well. And you also mentioned Nuco before. So Ernest Lowe obviously have been looking after people and taking skiers away for a long time. We know that, and has, I guess, a core sort of traditional customer base, if you like. And then Nuco, on the other side of it, is sort of a much newer company and focused on a younger demographic, a younger market. And these two brands have merged together, come along, and you're now under one umbrella. So can you just tell us a little bit more about that and how that's working?
Yes, of course. I mean, it's been absolutely brilliant. The advantages of joining a bigger group is that we've been able to invest more in the technology side of things. So there are several brands in the Nuco company now. There's the student brand, there's the young adult brand, and there's Ernest Lowe, which is more family orientated. So what we're looking to do is look after skiers and snowboarders throughout their ski and snowboarding lives. And in a way, they could go full circle, hopefully, once they've had their children and those children have gone to university, they can come back around again and go on a Nuco trip. And that's not all, because we're also diversifying into summer. For this summer, we're having Armada, which is a floating party palace, and lots of exciting developments in the pipeline.
That sounds great. So, yeah, definitely. If you can't wait to get your ski fix for next winter, then that festival in Croatia sounds a lot of fun to me.
Yeah.
And hopefully see you on the slopes next winter, Jane, as well. That would be great.
I'm looking forward to that, Rob, very much.
It was great catching up with Jane, and actually she slipped us some of her very best deals for next winter. If you're a bit like us, you're counting down the days until we can go skiing again. It's only about 250 left. So for families, Ernest Lowe are offering a whole host of early booking discounts live on their website right now. Les Arcs is always one of our favourites, and you can celebrate Christmas in the Pierre Vacances Arc 1950 Premium Le Village residence. 8 nights between the 18th and 26th of December for £499 per person, based on 4 sharing.
If you're a group of friends, you can't go wrong with Val Thorens. You can go to the 4-star at Le Balcon from £209 per person. That's 6 nights between the 15th and the 22nd of January, based on 4 sharing. For that deal, go to nucotravel.com. Now, just remember, because of COVID, if it stops you skiing next season, you will get refunded and you'll get your money back. That's absolutely guaranteed. If you can't wait that long, if you can't wait until next winter, you want to go away and you can travel this summer, there's a really cool looking festival in Croatia in September. It's called the Armada Festival. It's like a floating party paradise, apparently. It sounds fantastic. Check it out at armada-week.com.
But just follow the websites and also follow their social media, because there's loads of things coming up, including a big competition and some really top deals as well. And we'll pop the details of the social media channels down below as well. So keep following them, keep checking that out, and we'll see you next winter on the slopes.
And everyone's getting excited to ski because they've missed out and missed their snow fix. And I also noticed that there was the ski festivals. They've got their dates in as well for next winter. So what's going on with all the ski festivals?
Yeah, well, it's going to be great, isn't it, to go back to a festival again in the mountains? What
actually
how
see
much better
people?
can that be? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, altitude, which is, for me, probably one of the most famous festival in the mountains, and certainly one of the original ones. It's coming back again for 2022 to Maaroffen, March 28th to April the 1st. And that's going to be fantastic, isn't it? And
it's a bit funky, this one. Because sorry, Robert, this is the one which has kind of got comedy / music, rather than kind of like Snowbox and Rise and stuff, which are just pure music, aren't they? Is this combine the two? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, Altitude is a comedy festival at heart. They've got a great lineup as well for the spring.
Who's in the lineup?
So Marcus Brigstock, who we know, and he loves his skiing, and he's great, and really.
He went on the jump after that, didn't he?
He did actually. Andrew Maxwell, Rich Hall, and Shapi Khorsandi as well. So it's a brilliant lineup. And
perfect.
End of March, Austria comedy. I think that sounds to me like
music,
therapy
wine.
for skiers. Go and grab yourself an early bird bargain at altitudefestival.com or check out the socials at Altitude Comedy. So whilst most of us can't actually get out to the slopes this winter, the GB Snowsports athletes have had a really, really positive end to the season, certainly some of them anyway. The Freestyle World Cups have been taking place over in the USA, and 16-year-old Kirsty Muir, only her 4th World Cup event, managed a silver in the slopestyle, which is fantastic. Alpine ski racing, Billy Major has won the overall Europa Cup this season in the slalom. I mean, that is a fantastic result for any British ski racer, and someone that wants to take it up to the next level in the World Cup next season. We're going to see some exciting things from Billy. Charlie Guest, brilliant result, gold medal in the Europa Cup finals, the final race of the season as well. So good things from the Alpine ski races this year. Dave Riding's had a mixed season with a podium place halfway through the season, and some decent results through the season as well. So I look forward to seeing Dave again next season in the slalom. For the snowboarding side, Charlotte Banks, obviously world-class, world champion snowboarder in the border cross. She got a podium, a bronze medal in the last race of the season as well. And then Mia Brooks, gold in the Europa Cup snowboard slopestyle. Mia, very, very young athlete, up and coming. We're going to see some great things from her in the future, I'm sure. So really good season, a really good winter of ski racing and freestyle skiing and snowboarding as well. I've certainly enjoyed watching that on TV, even though I couldn't get out to the snow myself. I really felt that watching those athletes doing their stuff was a very, very positive thing for me. And I thank them for myself. I really thank them for giving us all that entertainment through the winter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome to be sitting here and being able to talk about so many Brits at that kind of level, and really kind of fighting for those pole positions. It's great.
So when it comes to our own Snowsports athletes, there's a story that's just broken in one of the national newspapers about GB Snowsports, and basically the story is saying that the people at the very top of the sport here in the UK are pretty well paid, high salaried members of staff, and they're asking athletes to pay to play. Basically, they're asking athletes for £33,500 to join, get into the system. Now, Emily, you've been there, and you've had your own personal experiences of racing. Is that just a bit too much to expect athletes to have to pay that kind of money?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we see this article in the Daily Mail, but I was actually really quite happy that it actually has been brought to kind of public attention. And I'm not saying that anything I've got is kind of like gospel or anything like that, and I can only kind of ever talk from my opinion. But it's quite good that it actually does raise it, because I think a lot of people kind of expect that once you're competing for your country and representing at that level, World Championships, the Olympics, whatever it might be, that you're kind of a fully funded athlete and you're essentially getting paid to be that athlete. But it couldn't be further from the truth, really, from my experience. I mean, I was a self-funded athlete the whole way through my career, and I spent many a day kind of asking and requesting funding and stuff like that. But in the end, it was better that I just kind of paved the way myself. Now, this £33,500 is just what he's paying to the federation. Now, that athlete would then have to pay for travel, accommodation, equipment, all those other things kind of part and parcel. So you're probably talking in excess of 50 grand. And how many individuals really have 50k a year to spend on their sport at the age of 16, 18, 21, whatever it might be. That then, the challenge then comes, because are we losing a pool of talent just for people who've got some talent with money who can then make it?
You know, there's not an unlimited pool of money there for every single athlete that might make the cut at the end of the day. Of course not. But you know, asking them to put their hands in the pocket for that sort of money, and when those people in that federation are being paid large sums of money, let's face it, large sums of money, there's no other way to put that. It does look even worse.
Yeah, the UK sport have funded a lot more into the UK now. I think there's kind of a 11 million for now. Don't quote me on the actual figures and stuff. So they have got kind of a big pool of money to play with. And I think the frustrating part for those athletes now is is that money going into top heavy salaries, or is it actually going to where it's supposed to go, which in my opinion should be the talent, which is the athletes, and getting them to progress and getting them to that ultimate level and bringing home those medals.
It would be interesting to hear from some of the people at the very top, to hear what they have to say about this, and you know, it'd be good for them to get the chance for us to understand the thinking behind that, if there is a strategy and why it makes sense to do these things. I'd certainly like to hear that.
I suppose this just gives me the opportunity to say, link into those foundations like Ellie Soup's foundation, which the money then goes to really help the athletes. So another little plug, sorry. So from Austria to Switzerland, we're going to head off to Verbier to go and see our lucky ski technique editor, Warren, who has been out there all winter making us all very jealous. But what tips have you got for us this week?
My name's Warren Smith, just reporting from Verbier. We've had an immense couple of weeks of snow, so much powder skiing. And I'm up on the mountain with Rob Stanford from the team and Harriet, who are with our ski instructor students. So they're basically out here training for their level 1, level 2 IASI qualification, which is really good for them. It's an EU recognized qualification. And the guys, they're going to show us some pointers. So the idea today is we want to give you 3 things that will improve your carving. Just a very quick bit of tech. Today's ski that I'm on is the Mantra M6. Next year's Mantra, it's got a carbon tip. It's been combined with the ski, and it really skis super strong, very versatile. So that's going to be a massive upgrade for the Mantra for next season. So look out for that. Let's take a look at the students skiing down. Rob's going to give them a demo and show them the carve, which is the level for their level 2. And they're going to try and do something similar to Rob. Let's take a look. So Rob, we've just seen you carving down there with Harriet, and you've got your team with you who just passed their IASI level 1. Tell us a bit about the qualification and what these guys had to work on.
Yep, so these guys have been working super hard over the last couple of weeks, training towards their level 1, which they passed last week. They've been working on all sorts of things, so their core skier development, which is a lot of the teaching aspects of things, so taking a beginner from 0 to parallel turns, right up to their performance level skiing, so ideally looking at their short turns and their long turns on the piste. A couple of the guys are actually going to give you a couple of helpful hints, particularly with the carving. Okay, so you guys obviously, carving was a prerequisite to get through the exam. Give us some pointers that helped you get through it.
Something I always think about is about making patient, progressive movements.
Yeah, being progressive is key. You know, one of the things we find, people throw the whole range of movement all in at once, and the ski can't really handle that. So if you want to carve, you have to be progressive with your movements. Any other pointers?
What I think about is angulation. So dropping my outside hand, making an angle at the hip.
Yeah, that's a big thing, I think, for a lot of people watching this. Many skiers strive to create angulation to get a better edge grip. You know, it doesn't get you through the instructor exam if you're banking. You have to make those angles. What about yourself?
I always like to think about shortening my inside leg. It helps me put extra pressure on that outside ski and get around the corner nicely.
That makes sense. Well, let's have a look. We've got you guys obviously skiing down, making your carve turns that got you through the exam. Good luck with the level 2. Will you report back to us when you're taking your level 2 qualification?
Yep.
Nice one, guys.
Cheers, team.
Thanks, Warren. Great expert tips as usual, and hopefully we'll be able to join you on the mountains next winter. So this is going to be one of my favourite features. I don't know about you, but in the whole lockdown thing, I have got involved in a little bit of upcycling with my home furniture. However, we asked a few people on our Facebook page what they do with their old skis and snowboards, and you should have seen some of the things which they came up with. It's really quite impressive. Yeah, but the old ski shot, Rob, I think we've got that one in us. In fact, I may actually have one already.
One of these, Emily. Just like that. That's a 1980s special converted into a shot ski. Much better use for this, what was wonderful, I'm sure, wonderful ski back in the day. But much better now to have 4 shot holes in it.
I feel like I'm on Blue Peter here. So earlier this month, we saw the celebration of International Women's Day. So we thought it would be a perfect opportunity to shine a light on some of the inspiring females in winter sports. So I'm going to kick it off here with, I'm going to have to go with Jenny Jones. So recent years, Jenny obviously picked up that bronze medal out in 2014 Olympics. So she was the first British athlete to win a ski or snowboard medal at the Olympic Games, and since then that's kind of like encouraged so many people to now participate in winter sports in the UK, which is absolutely awesome to see. It's increased the amount of funding we get in the UK, and yeah, I'd say a lot of that is down to Jenny's success. Now, one of the key things which is pretty inspiring about Jenny was the fact that she didn't put her snowboard on until she was 17 years old on a dry slope local to Bristol. Then she went out and she was a chalet maid, so she just then found this passion for snowboarding when she was out in the mountains doing her gap year job. And yeah, it's just great to see somebody who can succeed and reach the top of their sport at, let's say, a little bit of an older age than starting as a little, I don't know, little kid.
Yeah, absolutely, Emily. And I remember that day when she won her medal very, very well. And staying on that Olympic theme, I don't think we can talk about International Women's Day and skiing without mentioning Lindsey Vonn, an incredible athlete, obviously American athlete, who's just, you know, the greatest skier of all time, and has been through a hell of a lot, you know, both physically and mentally. And she's such a strong person, and she's inspired so many people, but obviously so many girls and women as well, to take part in skiing. It's fantastic. I mean, I was lucky enough to meet her last year actually and interview her, and it was that was, you know, she's an incredible person, but also very humble and very you know, very accommodating. So for me, Lindsey Vonn is a very special athlete and a very special person in our industry, for sure.
Yeah, and so with the Lindsey Vonn Foundation, we've also got the Sarah Burke Foundation, which was set up in honour of Sarah Burke, who sadly passed away in an accident in 2012, in a training accident. Now, Sarah Burke was a freestyle skier, and she was pretty much one of the pioneers for freestyle skiing. I think in 2005, she was the first athlete, or the only athlete, to kind of basically take top spot in every of the freestyle disciplines, and she was a key voice to get the super pipe integrated into the Olympic Games, which actually made its debut in 2014. So yeah, I've got to put Sarah Burke up there representing the freestyle guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, Emily. A British athlete, Millie Knight, she lost her sight at the age of 6 years old, and she's an amazing athlete. She became Great Britain's first world champion in a snow sport, and the next year, in the 2018 Paralympics in Sochi, Millie took 2 silver medals on the opening day and a slalom bronze on the final day as well. I mean, she's such an exciting athlete to watch and an inspiration to many young skiers, not just in the UK but around the world.
Okay, so moving away from the athlete side of things, we've got to mention Erna Lowe. Now, Erna Lowe was born in 1909 over in Vienna, and in 1932 she put an advert in the Morning Post advertising essentially a ski holiday, £15, travel and accommodation to Austria. Is that right, Rob?
Yeah, that sounds right, Emily. I mean, amazing, really, and the start of the ski package holiday that we all got to know very, very well, and started by Erna Lowe all those years ago. It would have been an amazing feat to have put all of that together back then, if you think about the infrastructure that was in place. Definitely an impressive, amazing thing to do. So yeah, great to put Erna Lowe in our list.
So with summer just around the corner, I've got some exciting news that we have just relaunched our sister site, lovethemountains.co.uk, and we are also going to bring you some episodes about getting excited about the mountains in the summer, where you can do your mountain biking, your hiking, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching that summer content and getting some inspiration as well for a UK staycation perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. But before we go, guys, we're going to just leave you with some of these videos, which is the best we've found on social media. And hopefully we will see you very soon, but next time in the snow.